Hello there, everyone! I hope you're all having a great day. Now, this is going to seem like a very out-of-nowhere upload. I acknowledge that this isn't exactly something that I do a lot on this channel. Might change that up depending on how people think about this video, but, that's a discussion for the end. But, at the time of recording, I just got back from the theater. My folks took me to the movies to celebrate my birthday. Not gonna lie, it feels really good to finally go back to a movie theater after so long, but, we just got back from watching The Bad Guys, the newest film from Dreamworks, based on the book series of the same name, and also, if you hear a bunch of pauses or stuttering here and there, this is completely unscripted, so I apologize if this isn't the most professional sounding review, but I just really enjoyed this movie so much. I just wanted to get my thoughts out there and just talk about what I really liked about it. And when I say I really enjoyed this movie, I mean it. I have not had this much fun watching a DreamWorks movie since, I think, Kung Fu Panda 3. I'm sure there are others that came out after that I enjoyed, but I haven't felt this level of really infectious fun from a movie from DreamWorks in a long time, and I really recommend it to anyone that wants to see a really good, animated movie or a very good heist movie and whatnot. I'll try not to talk about a lot of massive spoilers because there are some people I know that really want to see the movie themselves, but they don't want anything spoiled, so I'm basically gonna go over a couple of bullet points, not gonna talk about anything that happens too spoiler-ish on the off chance that you haven't seen the film yourself, so this is just basic bare-bones thoughts on the movie. So first off, for reference sake, I have not read the books that this movie is based on, so if you want someone's opinion about whether or not the movie is really accurate to the books, you might want to go and ask someone else who's more familiar with the books. This is just me talking about the movie on its own merits. And on its own merits, like I said, I really love it. I really like the camaraderie between all of the titular bad guys. I know the ones that get the most focus are Mr. Snake and obviously Mr. Wolf, and they're definitely some of the best parts of the movie, but I don't want to downplay the other members of the crew. I really enjoyed them. I would say, if I had to choose between, the three other ones, Tarantula, Shark, and Piranha, I keep going back and forth on which one I prefer between Shark and Piranha. They're both really fun characters, and their actors do a great job performing them. I will say it took me a bit to get used to Piranha. He's not bad by any means, but I would say out of the 5 bad guys, he might be my least favorite, partially because some of the weaker jokes in the movie do stem from him, but overall, he's still really fun. You can tell that the actor had a really fun time voicing him, and he also does sing the original song for the movie, which I really do like that song, so I'd say that gives him a little bit of a redemption in that regard. But like I mentioned before, Wolf and Snake are definitely 2 of the best characters in the film. I love how natural the chemistry between the 2 of them are. You can easily tell just by their vocal performances that these 2 are really thick as thieves, and I love the back and forth between the 2 of them. And honestly, I'd say Wolf definitely has the best chemistry with a lot of the characters, with Snake, the other bad guys, with Diane, the fox. And overall, Wolf is a great character, and Sam Rockwell just does a fantastic job playing as him, both in the humor, and definitely in the more sincere moments, when Wolf is going through his development, the acting on that is very top-notch, hands down the best character in the film, which, he's the main character, so it's only right that the main character is the best part of the film. I also really love a lot of the side characters that pop up now and then, the policewoman that's kind of the, I keep forgetting how you pronounce his name, but she's kind of like that inspector guy from the Lupin films, in that she's super dedicated to taking down the bad guys, and she's honestly just a lot of fun. I can't really think of a single character in the movie that I don't think is really fun to watch, whether it be because of their mannerisms, the way they're animated, the way they're voiced. Just almost everyone in this film is just a lot of fun to watch. And speaking of animation, I'll go ahead and say it right now, a lot of people, even people that only watched the trailer, they probably got an idea of this, but I want to reinforce it anyway. This is a very beautifully animated movie, everything from, the subtle things, how characters just, interact with the environment or just their mannerisms, to some of the more, grand bombastic stuff, the action scenes, and even the dance scene that happens in the middle of the film. It is a beautiful film to watch, and just really fun to watch too, just how vibrant and expressive the movements and the expressions are from everyone. I would definitely say, like, just in terms of pure character acting, this is probably one of the best animated films that DreamWorks has ever put out, and it is just a visual treat. Like, definitely another standout moment from the movie. Like, particularly, like I mentioned before, like the dance that happens where the song plays, probably one of my favorite parts of the movie, alongside the big set piece that happens near the end of the movie, but I'm not going to talk about that a whole lot because, like I said, I don't want to spoil it for people that haven't seen the film yet. If I had to think of, like, any real problems that I have with the film, the only two that I can think of, for me personally, like, I don't know if this is something a lot of people will agree with, is that I'll start with the first one, which is kind of the bigger one for a lot of people. I've heard a lot of people say that the plot gets really predictable the further you get into it, like, there's no real surprises. And I won't blame you for thinking that, and I'm not going to say that you're wrong to think that, but personally speaking, I don't usually mind watching a film that has, like, a predictable plot as long as it's just really fun to go through. And Bad Guys is the good example of that. Like, even though I could definitely see who the villain was, like, the moment I saw him on screen, and I'm sure that's not a spoiler for a lot of people, because, you know, you probably pieced it together as quick as I did, but even knowing what was going to happen, I still had a lot of fun watching it, because it really is just that much fun. So much fun watching these characters interact with each other, watching them go through all these, like, elaborately cinematic and cartoony set pieces. It's just, I don't know, like I mentioned before, it's easy for me to overlook it just because of how fun it all is, and I understand that that's not an opinion a lot of people share, but that's just how I see it, and how it doesn't affect my viewing of the movie. I will say the other problem I have, and it's one thing that does affect my viewing of the movie, is the humor. For the most part, I think it's a really funny movie. Like, a lot of the more character-focused humor I like, mostly in terms of, like, line deliveries. Like, a lot of the jokes, like, told vocally from the actors I really like. However, that being said, there are a few running gags throughout the movie that I feel are very weak, kind of not really all that funny, which is a shame because the rest of the humor I really love, but the two running gags, funnily enough, most of them focusing on Piranha, I really felt like they could have either done without or rewrote to be funnier. I don't think it's enough to really dampen my enjoyment of the movie, but I can understand if that's something that a lot of other people take issue with. But aside from that, I can't think of any, like, really glaring problems that I personally have with it. I still love the movie in spite of that. So yeah, that is my very spur-of-the-moment review of Bad Guys. I apologize for how very unprofessional I sound throughout this entire video, because like I said, it was just a sudden idea. It's like, I might do more of these in the future, like these, like, very brief reviews of movies I've seen. Depending on if you guys want to see that, like, let me know if you don't mind seeing more casual videos like this, and I might make them more in the future. I know as far as movies go, my folks definitely want to see the Doctor Strange movie that's going to be coming out soon. And, you know, I might make a video on that if people are curious on my thoughts about that. But for now, I want to say... oh, speaking of my folks, that's another thing. They really enjoyed the film too, which is amusing because I've seen, like, some people try to make the dumb critique about how, like, oh, kids will like the movie, but adults might get bored with it because, you know, because a lot of people have that really obnoxious stigma against animation, but when my folks saw it, they really enjoyed it. Like, I'm not sure if they enjoyed it as much as I did, but they still had a fun time with it. So I will say that, like, if you're worried that, like, the movie might not appeal to a demographic outside of younger audiences, do not worry about that at all. Like, I think the film is perfectly enjoyable regardless of whatever age you are. Sorry for that, like, slight little detour, but yeah, highly recommend it. Thanks again to my folks for taking me out to see it. A really great cap-off to a really great birthday. Hopefully you guys enjoy it whenever you see it, and like I said, if you want to see more casual, not very professionally sounding reviews, feel free to let me know, and, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoy the movie if you do decide to see it, and I hope you all have a grand day.